I am God. I killed Pope Francis. He's dead because of me. Have you been following what I've been posting on social media? What have I been posting? Did you not see the connection at all? Well, I'll explain it to you. Okay? So, you may have noticed that my social media, my Facebook page, which is in my name, Grant Salvin. It's changed a little bit, yeah. So, and I've updated my profile picture and my cover photo. I've been posting a lot of rock music and stuff like that, okay? And I've explained in my previous videos how I'm connected with all that. And see, there was a band called Soundgarden. I never really used to listen to Soundgarden. I mean, I heard, I knew a few songs by Soundgarden and a few songs by Audioslave. But the thing is, their lead singer Christopher Cornell, well, he died in 2017. He was how do I say it? Let's say he did it to himself, okay? You know what I'm saying, okay? So well, I'm God, okay? So I'm connected with everything. But the fact is that, well, I killed him as well. Basically, you know the story in which, because again, in Thessalonians, okay, Paul spoke about the how the man of lawlessness, and how when Jesus, that Jesus will kill him with the breath of his coming. Well, in 2017 is when I started reading the Bible, and that's when that was when my journey began to finding out who I am. I found out I'm good. So it's been a very difficult path for me. But I did listen to. There was a game I played when I was a little boy, when I was about 5 years old. 5 years old, 6 years old. I used to play PlayStation games with my cousins. I had two cousins, and where they lived, they had a neighbor across the road. His name was Christopher, and he was a teenager who used to look after us, the little boys. He would look after us when, I think my grandmother, she used to give him money to look after us. And he would come around the house, he would come around with computer games, and we would play. He would always bring around computer games, and we'd play on the PlayStation. And he'd bring games around like Resident Evil and Road Rash, which was a game I used to play. Road Rash, which is a game about bikers, and it has a really, really interesting soundtrack, that game. And Soundgarden has two songs in it. One's called Rusty Cage, and the other one's called Outshined. Now, it's a really interesting word, outshined. You see, I'm God. I outshine everybody. Okay? I'm God. I outshine everybody. And not to mention, what's that big ball of light in the sky that you call it the sun? Yeah. I mean, outshined, it means, well, that's the thing, it's the past tense of outshine. So it's what's behind me. Anyway, it's a very, that's the thing. Christopher Cornell was a wizard man. That's what he was. Okay? And if you listen to the lyrics of that song, he says, it's all about, I feel outshined, 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 outshined. Show me the power, child. It gives me the butterflies. Basically, he's talking about magic power. That's what it is. And the thing is, his debut, the Soundgarden debut album, that came out in 1987, which was the year I was born. And what was it called? The album was called Screaming Life. Well, that's the thing, you know, babies tend to cry and make a lot of noise. So, yeah. And obviously the name, you know, the word Christ is in the word Christopher. Yeah, it's an important thing to know, to realize. It's part of his whole wizard game. You see? So, what day is it today? Well, people call today Easter Monday, I suppose, don't they? I don't like that word Easter. Where did that come from? The fact is that, you know, this is about this time period is about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, isn't it? And last night, so I was awake till 4 or 5 in the morning this morning, Monday morning, posting, and I posted 4 versions of the song Outshined. You know, it's quite interesting. I'll tell you about that actually, because the first one is, so it's the main video, so the official video by Soundgarden for the song Outshined. And then there's an alternate video. Okay, it's a Soundgarden Outshined alternate music video. And in that video, there's a lot of bright light in the video, and in the video thumbnail, it's a very bright image. So, you know, it's a brighter, outshined image, right? And then and then after that, I posted, there was a Soundgarden. They did a live, it's called Soundgarden Outshined live from Motor Vision. So obviously, you know, it's about cars and bikes and stuff like that. And obviously, you know what cars and bikes do? They turn, yeah? So, you know, alternate, all turn, right? So it's, you know, you get in a car, you turn the steering wheel, yeah? And then obviously that's the reason I know that song is because when I was a 5-year-old boy, I used to play a game called Road Rash, which is about motorbikes. And I used to have you know, I played multiple copies of that game. I had the platinum one. You know, I got it for like, I don't know, £20 or something when I was a kid. I got it from Toys R Us. Anyways, so, you know, when I woke up this morning, you know, I wasn't expecting to see that Pope Francis was dead, but he is. And the thing is, you know, it's not that I specifically said to myself, yeah, I want to make it happen today, but it's because I'm wielding my magic power. It's because I've broken you see, Chris Cornell and many others like him, but I think Chris Cornell, he was an obstacle in my way, and I've moved him out of my way. That's why Pope Francis is dead now. Because there are evil demons trying to pose as me, God. Yeah, you know how God is in charge. God makes shit happen, right? God is, and this is the thing, there are all these demons trying to steal my light. They want to steal my power. These wizards and witches, they want my power, and they want to pretend that they're me. And when I expose them and move them out of the way, yeah, then that's the thing. Other people will topple as well, like Pope Francis. See, the only reason Pope Francis was still standing or still living till today was because of obstacles in my way. I've moved those obstacles out of my way, so now Pope Francis is dead. Do you get it? And also, I mean, that's the other thing as well, because there's a game I used to play called Killer Instinct. And there's a character in that game called Rash. And you know, you see him in I posted the trailer. You can see it on YouTube. It's called Killer Instinct Rash Trailer, or Killer Instinct Season 3 Rash Trailer. You know, he's a character from Battletoads. It's a fighting game, right? Like, you know, Street Fighter or Tekken. And those are my favorite games, by the way, because fighting games are what I normally play, or I used to play when I had time. But yeah, this is the thing. Killer Instinct. Well, yeah, look, he's dead. Pope Francis is dead because of me. I'm God. How else would it be? So, you know, I'm happy. I mean, this is the thing. You know, I got myself a bottle of whiskey, so, you know, I have a little sip of that. There's a celebration today. Yeah. This is a very important time in history. It's very good news for me. What can I say? Yeah, I mean, I didn't script this video, so, you know, I woke up at 1 o'clock. I woke up after lunchtime, about lunchtime. That's how late I woke up today. So, you know, by the time I saw the news, you know, Pope Francis, well, he's been dead for many hours. It's been reported hours ago. So, you know, I watched a bit of the news and I posted a few things on Facebook before I made this, you know, before making this video. So, so the other stuff I was posting about Christopher Cornell, well, that's the thing. His last gig, so he died in 2017. The last gig he did was at a place called the Fox Theatre. Okay, so if you know, so in numerology, Fox, Fox, that's 666. Okay, so I noticed that immediately when I saw that he played at the Fox Theatre. I saw that there was a connection there. Not to mention, if you've seen his music video, which is called Jesus Christ Pose. It's a very interesting music video. I mean, the thing is, it's all about sex magic, is what it is, right? Because it's a woman on a crucifix, and you see. Let me read to you about the two witnesses again, okay? I never get tired of reading this. But Revelation chapter 11, it's about the two witnesses, okay? If I go from verse 7, okay, it says, "Now when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. Their bodies will lie in the public square of the great city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also their Lord was crucified." Okay, I was Jesus Christ. I was the one who was crucified 2,000 years ago. I took the sins of the world on myself. I paid the price. Yeah, I was the perfect lamb. Okay, but now I am Father. Okay, so you notice on the news they're all saying Holy Father is dead. Well, that's because they call the Pope, they call him Holy Father, and they're saying he's dead. Well, this is the thing, you know, I smoke, I drink, I swear. I can tell you to go fuck yourself because I fucking hate you or whatever, right? You could say that I'm spiritually dead in that sense, yeah. So when they say Holy Father is dead, well, it's a magic thing, okay? See, the world still wants to kill me. That's the thing. Except now I'm not being Mr. Perfect anymore. I'm being what you would call spiritually dead, I suppose. Yeah. But then that stops you from killing me. You see, it helps. You see, by me being spiritually dead, it makes it difficult for the world to kill me with magic. You see, I just do whatever I want and say, fuck you, bitch. Give me what I want or die. That's basically what's happening, okay? I know that's hard for you to understand, but anyway. So the problem is here is, so the video with Soundgarden, Jesus Christ pose, well, it's a woman who's on a crucifix, okay? And it's all, and Sodom and Egypt, yeah? Sodomy's about anal sex, and Egypt's about bondage. You see, it's about, imagine sex dungeons, yeah? So, yeah? Do you see what the problem is here? And in the music video, you see him hammering nails through the screen. Yeah, so they do an effect. So they're hammering nails at the screen of the. You're looking at the screen, and it looks like it's smashing your screen with the nail coming through it. That's witchcraft. Okay. I mean, if you hear the song by Audioslave, Like a Stone, it's a very interesting lyrics. You might want to listen to that one. But, he talks about want to be in your house or in my house. I mean? He basically, this is the thing, this is the kind of guy who wants to break into heaven, be God, and F all the women, F all the bitches, basically, right? Pretend like he's God. Yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. Okay. I mean, he had an album out with Soundgarden called King Animal. Well, what's the King Animal then? I mean, and then the album cover is a big pile of bones. I think it's like a gazelle's skull with two big horns coming out of it. I mean, the second beast of the Book of Revelation. It talks about a beast with two horns, right? And also, Chris Cornell, he was good friends with Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. I mean, if you notice his first name, Chester, is a 7-letter word, and Bennington is a 10-letter word. Yeah. Let me check that. Bennington, yeah, it's a 10-letter word. So it's yeah. I mean, I have connection with the 710 as well. I'm trying to think what it is. But anyways, come back. Yeah, whatever. But I'm God. I smoke like a dragon. All right, I breathe fire like a dragon. Okay, you happy now? And I've dressed in drag. I've done a bit of cross dressing. Yeah, you know what a cross dresser is? Yeah, bit of cross dressing. Yeah. Just for a laugh. Nothing. It's not like I do it as a serious thing. It's not like I'm doing it as it's what I did it for a laugh. And there are photos of it. Okay. I knew a lot of gay people when I was younger. My mum was a lesbian. She's dead now. She's an evil witch, and she's dead. And I live in her. This is my house now. Yeah? I took her money, I took her house. She died of cancer. So, I don't want to keep repeating myself. I didn't make so many videos. There are hundreds of videos. I've explained all these things before. So, Christopher Cornell, he was an obstacle in my way, and there are a lot of people in this world who have been obstacles in my way, and for the last few years, all I've been doing is trying to take them out, get rid of them one by one, move them out of the way one by one, because there are so many people in this world who want to pretend they're me, and I have to expose them for the witchcraft that they do. Okay? So, the thing is, Chris Cornell, and, he was involved with Audioslave as well. That was his other main band. So when I was a teenager, I used to go to a club called Audio. Okay, it was my favorite place to party. All right, it was a club in Brighton, in England, the southeast of England, Brighton, called Audio, and I used to go there and listen to DJs, breakbeat DJs, drum and bass, house music. Some of the world's biggest DJs playing there, and it was close to where I lived. Um, so so he had a so that's the thing, right? Because this sorry the Soundgarden thing is, well, it's a very interesting word because the word sound, it has the word sun in it, doesn't it? Whether you spell it SON or SUN, right? And then it's got the D as well, which can mean a bunch of different things, right? It can mean dick. And then there's garden, right? We know how significant the word garden is, yeah? You should know. If you don't know, well, you obviously haven't read very much or heard anything. Um, yeah, where have you been? Oh, um, so, Audio Slave. Well, this is the thing because, the witches and the wizards. Well, that's the thing, Sodom and Egypt, right? So that's to do with sex magic, anal sex, and bondage. Well, bondage is to do with slavery, yeah? So, Audio Slave. It's a magic band name, is what it is, okay? He was in other bands as well. That's what other bands. So let's have a look. Okay, I mean he was friends with a guy. He was friends with a guy called Lane Staley, I think, and he was from a band called Alice in Chains. He died a long time. He died in 2002, I think. Um, okay, so he was that was another guy who died. I think he died of a drug overdose or something. And Christopher Cornell, he was associated with another band. There's one called Temple of the Dog, which is very, this is the thing, right? Because dog is the reverse of God. Yeah? If you reverse the word God, you get the word dog. And it's a band. You know what a rubber band is? Like an elastic band, right? Well, like the anus isn't a lot. It's like it's thought of as type of like an elastic band. Okay, I mean you've heard the song by Sia. It's called Elastic Heart. Yeah, where there's the little girl Maddie with Shia LaBeouf in a cage. Yeah, what do you think that's about? The Elastic Heart. No, it's all about It's all about sodomy. They're witches. Okay, these people Freemason. These people are secret society members. They're they're part of covens. Yeah, witch covens and stuff like that. Okay, they're interested in power, my power, God's power. I've been explaining this for years. Okay, and there's another band. Okay, I'm not sure. There was a guy called Andrew Wood. I have a cousin called Andrew. He used to be King David. He never listens to anything I say, of course. And so Andrew Wood was in a band called Mother Love Bone. Mother Love Bone. They had an album. It says here Crown of Thorns. Another one called Apple. Yeah. I also mentioned my dead mum. She was called Fiona. Right? There's a musician called Fiona Apple. Yeah. She had an album called Extraordinary Machine. I used to have back then when she was trying to release that album. That's when I had a very powerful Apple Mac computer. Yeah, that I purchased with my mum's credit card. Yeah, and all that's been used as these things have all been used to attack me with witchcraft, to try to steal power from me. So when people tell you that computers are taking over the world, they're talking a lot of shit. They're witches. They're just talking shit. Okay. And of course, Nirvana. Well, you know what an anus is, right? And us, yeah, anus, yeah, and there are more nerve endings in the butthole than any other part of the body. It's called Nirvana. You see, the universe is connected to my ass. Okay, the universe is magically connected with my ass. You see, and because I'm the connection between the universe and heaven. Okay? see, the anus, my anus is basically, it's a portal. That's what it is. It's a portal. Um, it's hard explaining this stuff. So yeah, of course there was Nirvana. I mean that's the thing, right? You know, their first album was Nirvana Bleach. Well, some people bleach their buttholes. Yeah, they do. And then there's the second album, Nevermind, and it's got the baby on the front cover, underwater, chasing after money, apparently. And then there's Nirvana in Utero. So in Utero, what's obviously that the utero. Well, I suppose that's to do with the uterus, isn't it? I mean, this is the thing, right? Because I'm God. I'm male. I don't have a uterus, but you see, I give birth to the universe through my anus. You see, Nirvana. Yeah, so anus, nerve anus. Yeah, in utero. Well, that's the thing. I give birth to the world. I give birth to physical matter. Shit. um, I know that's kind of hard to figure. It's magic. It's a magic thing. Okay. Um. So yeah. So Pope Francis, he's dead because I am winning the magic war. You see, because there are all these people who've tried to steal my energy, and the more of them I expose, the more. You see, when I expose what they've done, it breaks their magic. So it means that all that power, it comes back to me. And that means that someone like Pope Francis, he'll just fall over and die because I've become too powerful for him to stand against me any longer. That's the easiest way I can say it. That's the easiest way I can put it. But the thing is, if you haven't been following what I post on Facebook, you're gonna really, that's the way you have to look. If you don't look, then you'll never know. I noticed I had a lot of, on Facebook, it will say, it'll ask, if there's anyone you want to add as a friend, have a list of people at the top. And I usually notice that, because that's the thing, I don't have any friends on Facebook. I don't have any friends or followers on Facebook. But people spy on me, and I noticed today when I woke up, there was a really long list of people whose names had shown up on top of my Facebook profile. Basically, it says, "Do you want to add them as a friend?" It's like, I don't know any of these people, but it just seems to me like there's, it looks to me like there are people who are looking at my profile. But anyway, that's what it looks like. If you don't know what my thoughts are about the Catholic Church, well, I don't like the Catholic Church. They're Mary worshippers. Mary is evil. That's the truth. I've explained that one already in many videos. So, the thing about the name Christopher Cornell, well, when I was a kid, I used to listen to a band called Korn a lot. I had many of their albums. I probably had, I don't know, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. I don't know, but I saw them as well at concert in London. Docklands Arena when I was about, I don't know, 14. Um, so that's the thing, the word corn. Okay, so I mean, I eat sweet corn. You know, people like to say things like, you are what you eat. Yeah. Um, you know, well, that's the thing. I'm magically connected with the word corn. The corn, what it means really is, you know what corn on the cob is, right? And let's not forget about, Kurt Cobain. Yeah, Kurt Cobain. Yeah. So it's the cob. It's the corn on the cob idea. Okay. So you notice that a corn on the cob, it looks like it's phallus shaped. Yeah, it's phallus shaped, and obviously, if you do sodomy, well, it might come out looking a bit yellow. Yeah, that's the whole idea between that's the entire idea around the idea of corn and corn on the cob in terms of sex magic. Yeah. So when you read the book, you see, there's those stories or those movies by Stephen King. It's called Children of the Corn. Yeah. So what's that about? What's that about? Do you think? What do you think that's really all about? When you have a band called Audio Slave. Or D.O. Slave. Yeah. And it's, you see, they're all involved with sex magic. I mean, look at the Catholic Church. What's the Catholic Church involved with? Yeah, what are they known for? What kind of scandals are they involved with? Yeah, and who do they worship? Mary. Yeah, that's right, Mary. That's who they worship. Yeah. They don't worship me, God, do they? And what are they involved with? Well, there's, child abuse. Yeah, sodomy, bondage, slavery. People, men with yellow dicks. Yeah. Walking around thinking they're God. Thinking they can do whatever they want. That's what the world does. Yeah, that's what the world likes. I'm the reason Pope Francis is dead. And I'm very happy that he's dead. I mean, they're already talking about who's going to be the next Pope. Well, there will. This is the thing. I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but I'm going to destroy until I get what I want. That's all I can tell you. I will destroy this world until you give me what I want. And that's it. There's nothing more to it. I mean, think about, so Chris Cornell, he was friends with Chester Bennington. Yeah, you see, I'm wearing a Manchester United football shirt. I don't even like football. I bought this because I'm good. And I know what my power is. I know how to do what I need to do. But the fact is that, if you have a chain, it has links in it, yeah? It has links in it. Yeah, so link in park. Well, park can mean sex, like a man parked it behind her. Yeah, Linkin Park. Yeah, it's still it's another way of talking about bondage, sex. Yeah, that's what it is. And he was friends with Christopher Cornell. Yeah, see, they're all they're obsessed with that power, right? They're obsessed with my power. They're obsessed with trying to get to my light. You know, that's the thing. I was crucified. Okay, I mean, I know this is a crystal glass thing, but it's the closest thing I've got here. Okay, um, but you know what this represents? It represents a crucifix, and it's just associated with sodomy and bondage. And the world loves that, don't they? Men and women, they all want to. There's so many who they want to do that all the time. You know, whether it's every day or every couple of days or every week or whatever, right? They're obsessed with it. And pornography. That is called sex magic. And that is you. If you do that, you're basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to kill me. You're trying to take my power. You're trying to get rid of me. And you're evil. You're a demon. That's all you are. Because you put your sex life before me. That's the problem. And the world is full of demons who are obsessed with that power. That's all they want. They want my power. So, I actually had so my my dead mum. Okay, so her mum is called Anne. She's still alive. Last time I checked. So she had a brother. Okay, her brother was called Frank, and his surname Goddard. So his name was Frank Goddard. Okay, so who was it who died today? Pope Francis, or Frank is. Yeah? Yeah, that's right. See, my grandmother, she was Anne Goddard, and then she got married, and she became Anne Reed. Yeah, you know what it is to read something, yeah? Her surname was spelled R-E-I-D, Anne Reed. And her daughter, she had three daughters. One was called Alison, one was called Christine, and the other one was called Fiona. Fiona was my mum. She was the youngest of the three. Christine, she married a man called Donald Neal. Donald Neal used to be Abraham or Abram from the book of Genesis. He doesn't believe in God, has a very strange fascination with Italy, and he actually took me on holiday there when I was a teenager. I went with him and my older cousin Andrew. He used to be King David, by the way. He doesn't believe in God either, and Christine as well. Dr. Christine Neal. So we all went to Rome, we went to Florence, we went to Lake Garda, and we went to Venice. Yeah, it was, a holiday. Anyways, so Christine Reed. So, there's some very interesting surnames, yeah? So Goddard, Reed, Neal, and there's my surname, which is Salvin. Salvin, which you will find in the word salvation. Yeah, my name's Grant Salvin. You know what eye salve is, yeah? You rub it in your fucking eyes so you can fucking see properly, yeah? Well, that's the idea behind the story in the scriptures, yeah? When Jesus healed the blind man, he rubbed eye salve in his eyes, yeah? Spat in the mud, stuck it in his eyeballs, told him to go wash his eyes in the pool. Yeah. Well, I've been making videos for years. I don't know how this is going to go. Really, I don't know. I hope someone takes notice. But if you don't, well, it'll be more chaos. There'll be more death, more destruction. And that's all there is to it. So, I'll leave it there. Yeah, I'll leave it there.